Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 6.
A busy road in Lexington is still closed hours after a motorcyclist died in a collision with a semi.
The crash happened before noon on Georgetown Road in Lexington between Ironworks Pike and Hurricane Hall. Conroy DeLuche joins us live with tonight's LEX 18 big story at 6.
Well, right now, police are still investigating the crash scene 6 hours after that collision was first reported. And right now, tow trucks are standing by, waiting to see when they can tow away the heavily damaged tractor trailer, which, as you can see in pictures and video we got from viewers, was on fire after the crash, flames reaching up toward power lines. The thick black smoke could be seen from miles away across parts of Lexington and Georgetown. The driver of that semi-truck told police that he was driving inbound this morning and had passed Ironworks Pike when a motorcycle heading in the opposite direction started coming into his lane. The Fayette County coroner says that the truck did try to get over, almost driving off the road, but the motorcycle kept coming and then hit the driver's side.
Was immediately engulfed in flames. The tractor trailer driver had to leave or exit out the passenger side there.
Now, Coroner Gary again did say that the motorcyclist was dead before first responders could arrive. He was declared dead by blunt force trauma. The driver of the truck was not injured reportedly. And again also pointed out that there have been a significant number of fatal accidents in between Ironworks Pike and Citation on this stretch of Georgetown Road, so encouraging drivers to be careful on this road. We're covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom. Back to you.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell used his trip to the Kentucky State Capitol today to talk about the shootings in Pittsburgh and Louisville.
He called both shootings hate crimes. And as LEX 18's Carolina Buchek reports, he asked everyone in the country to tone down the toxic talk.
Mitch McConnell came to Kentucky's Capitol to talk about judiciary appointments, but ended up talking about recent shootings.
If there is such thing as a hate crime, we saw it in Kroger, and we saw it in the synagogue in Pittsburgh.
On Saturday, a gunman opened fire in a Pittsburgh synagogue, killing 11 people. Police say he was targeting people for being Jewish. And a few days before that, 2 black shoppers in a Louisville Kroger were shot and killed. Witnesses say the shooter said, quote, "Whites don't shoot whites." For both of these situations, McConnell thinks the death penalty should be on the table.
These are the kinds of circumstances I would apply it to.
Now, whether toxic political rhetoric is contributing to the problem of these hate crimes, McConnell said everyone should dial it back in.
And the political rhetoric is always pretty hot before an election. It's not the first time. But I think the whole tone in the country right now needs to be ratcheted down.
But when reporters asked whether the president should tone it down,
does the president need to tone down?
McConnell walked away. Covering the news in Frankfurt, Carolina Buchek, LEX 18 News.
Tonight, people here in Lexington will gather to share their grief and also messages of hope in light of the Pittsburgh shooting.
A vigil is planned at the UK Shabbat Jewish Center on campus. LEX 18's Kyla Mills joins us live with more.
Nancy, Kevin, good evening. It's in the front yard here of that Jewish Center where the vigil will get underway in just about 2 hours from now. Now, obviously, everyone in the community is hit hard by this tragedy, but we're told they will not succumb to the violence. You can see on the sign here in front of the building, Post-it notes with hearts. We're told these are just a few of the signs of hope over the last few days. News of the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting touching hearts hundreds of miles away.
I was just heartbroken.
Students on UK's campus still grappling with the brutal display of hatred.
I definitely think that it's appalling and makes you take a step back, but at the same time, just with the political state of unrest in the world right now, I think that it's not all too surprising that something like that would occur.
Director of the Jewish Student Center, Rabbi Shlomo Litvin, says discrimination and hate crimes aren't unusual.
And I think if people were to talk to their friends who are minorities in this country, and they would ask them, what are your experiences? They would be shocked by what they heard.
Still, Litvin says from every moment of darkness comes an abundance of light.
We have had an outpour of support both from the university and from the broader community since this happened. And I have friends in this community of every color, every race, every religion. The best thing you could do is be a source of light.
In addition to being an outlet for those who feel hurt or scared by what happened, tonight's vigil planned to be a source of hope for all.
They feel so bothered by this and they want a way to react, they want a way to comfort. It gives them an opportunity to stand up and be counted and say, I don't recognize this, this is not the America that I'm a part of. I stand for love and tolerance and friendship.
Rabbi Litvin encourages everyone, get in touch with a friend of a different race or religion and let them know how much you care. He says you can also send encouraging messages to a nearby synagogue or people in the Jewish community. Now this vigil will get underway here at 8 o'clock on Columbia Avenue. We're covering the news live in Lexington from the LEX 18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
Thanks, Kylan. University of Kentucky President Eli Capilouto released this statement. It says in part, quote, senseless violence motivated by hate makes even more urgent our efforts to enable our students to meet and know those who are different, to celebrate our diversity, but also to embrace our common humanity, end quote.
For the latest developments in Pittsburgh, log on to our website, lex18.com, and you can find the same information when you're on the go. Just download our free LEX18 News app.
Many communities are moving trick-or-treat times for Halloween from Wednesday, the actual holiday, to tomorrow night because of weather reasons. Let's show you why. It really is the more being proactive and being on the cautious side than anything. As we go through tomorrow, terrific day. It's a wonderful Tuesday for us. We'll see some decorator clouds in the afternoon. It'll be breezy. It will be warm. So that part of the deal we work out pretty well because we move into Wednesday, Halloween. We may start with some sunshine, but the clouds will thicken up quickly as we roll through the day. What will happen is rain and thunder showers will be moving in. Some of these will be locally heavy, some pretty good downpours. The other thing, it will turn windy. We could see wind gusts 30, 35 miles per hour on Halloween, so that is one of the reasons why several communities are moving the trick-or-treat time. So check your local community to make sure when your trick-or-treat will be. You are looking at a Max Track Live Doppler right now. Quiet, nothing going on. That's all good. You are looking at temperatures that are hovering near 60 in most places, middle upper 50s to around 60. Not a bad afternoon. Tomorrow, a whole lot milder. We'll talk about that, look at the rain potential and your Saturday in a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Bill. Here's an LEX 18 news update out of Harlan County. Officials have confirmed a human skull found in August of last year belongs to missing man Herschel Sterrett, who was murdered. A worker with Phillips Tree Service found the skull off Philpott Lane in the Shields community. The 58-year-old was reported missing in December 2016. Sterrett's wife, Melissa, and his cousin, James, have been charged with conspiracy to commit murder and receiving stolen property in connection to his death.
The New Jersey woman credited with helping foil school shootings at Anderson and Shelby counties will be sharing her story on The Ellen Show. Police say 20-year-old Dylan Gerald could have killed people if he managed to follow through with his plan. Kentucky police got a tip from Coberly Bull, all the way from New Jersey. She found a Facebook message from Gerald in her inbox that said that she says was racially charged. State police arrested Gerald in Henderson County while he was backing out of a driveway with weapons in his car. But we'll be speaking about the incident tomorrow afternoon on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. Now, you can watch that right here on LEX 18 beginning at 3 o'clock.
A Pulaski County man is relieved and happy to be reunited with his dog. Over the weekend, it went missing in a nearby cave for nearly 10 hours.
But thanks to a few good neighbors, Blossom was rescued and is back home tonight. LEX 18's Alexa Helwig has that story.
American Bulldog.
Blossom is running around freely tonight, but for most of Saturday, Tim Hungler's 5-year-old dog was missing.
I asked the lady that stays with me up there where Blossom was, and she says, well, I don't know. She said, the last time I saw her, she was after a cat.
That cat led Blossom into an opening of Sloan's Valley Cave where she was 40 feet down. A rescue team was called because the hole was so small, but the crew was unsuccessful and would come back tomorrow. But Hungler couldn't wait. The tense situation forced his neighbor to make a post on Facebook asking if any experienced cavers could help. At 11 o'clock Saturday night, Heidi Muse and her fiance Troy came to the rescue.
I just kind of free climbed down there and tied Blossom up, and they pulled her up. made a little harness out of the rope, and we pulled her up, and then they pulled me up about probably 20 feet, and then I free climbed the rest of it out.
After this scary incident, Blossom's owner decided to cover the hole to the cave up to prevent this from happening again in the future.
We hugged, and you know, the dog means a whole lot to us. You know, of course, we're friends for life now. You know.
Hungler says all 6 helpers are good Samaritans in his eyes because Blossom is back home unharmed. Covering the news in Pulaski County, Alexa Hellwig, LEX 18 News.
How about that?
Got to do that for a man's best friend, right? Well, still ahead, a man on his lunch break is trying to catch a break after an expensive piece of his equipment went missing.
Now police are looking for a couple of thieves. LEX 18's Crime Stoppers is next.